Hello all, welcome to the channel Cloud Knowledge. Today in this video, we'll study about Debug Until feature in Azure Data Factory. Debug Until feature, it is useful when we don't want to run or perform the debug run of the entire pipeline, but only few of the activities present inside the pipeline. Okay, or we can say a subset of the activities in the pipeline. In a way, here we are setting breakpoint. We are putting a breakpoint on the activity until which we want to test the pipeline using this debug run. So here in the example, we can see that there are 3 activities, but we don't want to run the last activity. We want to execute only the first 2 activities. Then we will select the second activity and here we will set the debug until feature. Here we'll enable this feature so that it will only execute up to this level. So this debug until feature helps when we have some complex pipeline and we have to troubleshoot or we have to analyze the data, how it is flowing in the entire pipeline up to some breakpoint, so that we can troubleshoot or understand the data flowing through the pipeline. And putting these breakpoints allow us to debug a pipeline until we reach a particular activity on the canvas, that is the pipeline canvas. In turn, this ensures that the test runs only until the breakpoint activity on the canvas. So if we have selected breakpoint activity as filter activity, then only get metadata activity and filter activity will execute. So here you can see that this is the pipeline of the rename files in bulk, for which the video is already created in the ADF scenarios playlist, where we are renaming few files from storage into account by using get metadata activity, then filtering out the specific files from that folder. Then by using for each activity, we are iterating through those specific files which are filtered by the filter activity, then renaming and copying it to the target location. So in total, we could see here in the pipeline canvas that 3 activities are there. Okay, and we want to apply the debug until feature, let's say only up to the filter activity. So what we will do, or how we will apply, or how we will set the breakpoint, is that we have to select an element on the pipeline canvas. A debug until option will appear as an empty red circle. So in order to set this breakpoint or to enable this debug until feature, we have to select the activity. So here, let's say we are selecting this filter activity, and upon selection of this activity, we can see that the debug until option will appear like a empty red circle at the top right hand, okay, upper right corner of this activity. So once this option is appeared, we can click over it. So if we hover over this empty red circle, it shows debug until. That is, this is the debug until option. And we will just click over this. And when we click over the debug until option, it changes to a circle which is filled with the red color. You can see that the empty red circle is turned into a filled red circle now. And this filled red circle will indicate that the debug until option is enabled up to this activity. Means the breakpoint is enabled up to this filter activity, which indicates that yeah, up to this activity in the pipeline, the execution will occur. So let's now perform the debug run. Click on the debug and wait for the output to appear here. So the first activity in the pipeline is in progress, and here we can see that it is in progress with this blue symbol and the white broken lines, means it is executing. Green tick means it's completed. And we can see the filter activity also completed. The third activity, which is the for each activity of this pipeline, is shown as disabled here because the breakpoint is set at the filter activity. So all the activities in the pipeline up to this filter activity will be executed. We can clearly see in the output that get metadata 1 and filter activity have successfully completed. So for example, in real time, if it is a big pipeline, complex pipeline, and we have to analyze whether the data using the get metadata activity, the child items are coming proper or not from the source, and then whether the filter activity is actually filtering the files or the folders coming from the result of the get metadata activity, we can use these breakpoints. This will help us in debugging the pipeline. So get metadata 1 and filter activity have succeeded, for each is disabled, and there is no execution for this for each activity. Though for each activity is present inside the canvas, because of the setting of the breakpoint, it will not execute. So once our debugging is complete, we have to disable also this debug until option or the breakpoint. So we will again click on the debug until option here, and upon clicking, the filled red circle will turn into empty red circle. So this option is disabled. So the breakpoint is disabled now, and if we perform the debug run now, all 3 activities will be executed. Let's wait for the activity completion. Get metadata activity is in progress. If we click on refresh, filter succeeded, green tick, 2 succeeded, for each is executing. So here we could see the blue circle with the dotted white lines. It's still in progress. So all activities completed. Okay, inside the for each activity we had copy data activity and wait. So all those completed successfully, because here we have not enabled the debug until option. Okay. Now, 2 important things to note here is that if we go inside this for each activity, which has sub activities inside this, right? We are inside the pipeline, inside one of the activity where we have the sub activities copy and wait. If we click on these activities, there will be no debug until option, because this debug until option is only present at the pipeline level. Okay, if you hover over it, we get this empty red circle on all 3. But once we enter inside the activity of the pipeline, here we won't see the option. Okay, as of now, this option is not present in ADF. As well as if we have any data flow activity, let's open a pipeline which is having data flow. So let's open this pipeline. Here we have a data flow activity which has few transformations. And here in the transformations, if we click on the source or the filter transformation or at the sync level, we couldn't see the debug until option. Okay, so as of the date, this debug until option is only present at the pipeline level for the activities present inside the pipeline and not on the sub activities. I hope you have understood how we can make use of the breakpoints or the debug until option in ADF at the pipeline activity level. Thank you for watching the video. Do let me know in comments if you have any queries. Happy learning. Bye.